Hey, what's happening, people? It's your boy D Davis. Back here again with sports talk and bull stuff, uh, live in your video scope. Mr. 360 back at it. Um, I wanted to talk about just my thoughts on who's better, Tim Duncan or Kobe Bryant. Um, there was a broadcast on a couple of the basketball channels. Michael Jordan fans are the best, and I think Scap Attack had it, and Hoop God, and a couple other channels. And I was trying to get in, but there was too many people trying to get in. So I'm gonna give my thoughts on the whole Kobe versus Tim Duncan thing. Um, I know the popular opinion is Kobe Bryant. I get it. He's flashy, crazy numbers. Uh, you know, probably the closest game next to Jordan from a visual aspect that we have seen. Just that, both great players, phenomenal players, but to me, I feel like the most impactful. I guess you could say Kobe is a better basketball player because he's a more skilled player. Um, and I think just being at a guard position, you have to be a little bit more skilled in that aspect to get your shot off and to get to the hoop and everything. To be that player, you got to be incredibly skilled, and that's what Kobe Bryant was. So, I guess when looking at better player, I guess you can lean Kobe, and I wouldn't get into a back and forth about you know who you choose one of the over the other, but I look at Tim Duncan and his impact uh, on the game itself, because on the defensive end of the floor, um, you got to know that at the end of the line, you got Tim Duncan there, and his rotating post rotations. When guys are switching defenders and everything. Just having that presence there, usually in the right position, right spot, able to challenge a shot, block a shot, alter a shot, things like that. That stuff is just invaluable when I think of a team and impact. And they made a great point about Bruce Bowen's defensive impact. And I don't know if he got a defensive MVP or defensive player of the year award, or he was like second place a couple years, but like no doubt Bruce Bowen was a beast on the defensive end of the game. But it helps a lot when you got 21 in the back. And, David Robinson, he was there. So that helps your defensive side of the game. But what I really want to talk about is just the stone or foundational player that Tim Duncan was. Like, you can say that Kobe had 7, 8 coaches, and the Lakers didn't have as much stability as the Spurs. But your best player, or your best players, are the ones who make that possible for your organization to be stable. It can't be fluid. And that's what happened with the Lakers. Like, and the Kobe stands, this is something I gotta bring up, because the Kobe stands were once the LeBron stands. 15 years ago, the Kobe stands, just like these LeBron stands, it was just as annoying as these LeBron stands are now. But I think they had more merit in their argument than what we have with these LeBron stands. But Kobe was doing a whole bunch of fuck shit. He ran off Shaq. He ran off Shaq. He was about to go to Chicago because he was upset that the Lakers didn't give him players. But you ran off arguably the best player in the league, or one of the top 5 best players in the league at that time. Just because you wanted to be the top dog, you wanted to be the alpha male, and it's this certain mentality that these Kobe, this mama mentality, stuff that we have now. Like, Kobe was a major asshole, and his teammates really didn't like him like that at the time. And like, Shaq didn't. I don't think he minded getting away from him. He said, "Hey, do it yourself." And what did Kobe do? Struggle. Alpha male. So when I hear Scap talk about, the Lakers didn't do this and that for him, and they wasted his prime years, man, that's what it is in the NBA. That's what it is in sports. You ain't gonna have the best players on your team every year. You ain't gonna be a championship team every year, for the most part. So I don't want to hear that. I'm a Boston Celtics fan. I remember the dark days in Boston where we wasn't even talking about playoffs. We wasn't talking about playoffs. Playoffs? No. So like, nah, I don't want to hear all that. You had to go through it, and he got his mojo back when they got Gasol, Bynum developed, and all that, but he got his 2 championships out of that. And what was it? What was it back to? Kobe being an asshole. And at the end of his career, nobody wanted to play with him. Just like LeBron now, where nobody wants to play with you. So we can do all this revisionism and rewrite history and not tell, the whole story. Like, much respect to Kobe, phenomenal player, probably top 5 all time. And I don't care where you place him at. Just place him over LeBron. Give that man his due respect. But I want to go back to Duncan, because I watched this thing about Bill Russell and Red Auerbach. He was talking about just his coachability and what he was able to do with Bill Russell as being the leader, the head of the team, and how that was able to transcend to the other players. And what can you say if the team's best player, the leader, if he's allowed to be coached? That sets the tone for the entire team. If your best player isn't, barking at players and thinking you're going to scream at players and holler at players, and you think that's going to get the most out of them, that ain't going to work. Because Jordan was doing that in the 80s and 90s, and people didn't want to fuck with him either, as far as playing. So they don't tell that story. Like Bill Cartwright almost went at him, and other players went at him. Like, they always talk about he punched Steve Kerr, but what about the players that punched back? They don't talk about that. So we gotta put everything into proper perspective. And if I was a GM and it was fantasy draft, I had all of the all-time greats at my disposal who I can build a team around, I'm taking Tim Duncan easy over Kobe Bryant, because you ain't got to deal with none of the bullshit and the drama and the alpha male ego and all that shit. Tim Duncan just proved who he was, showed who he was coachable, was agreeable. You ain't really hear no shit coming out of San Antonio with Tim Duncan. He just did his job 19 straight years. Bunch of 50-win teams, 5 championships, 15 all-defensive team selections, couple MVPs. I mean, people try to make it seem like, oh shit, it's hands down Kobe Bryant. But like, I think people who really see the game and really understand the game and really understand size, for one thing, being 7 foot in basketball matters a lot. Sorry. Hate to break it to people, but I value that, especially an all-time great who happens to be 7 feet tall, he's not the prolific scorer that Kobe Bryant was, but How many of those people are there? It ain't many. But from what Timmy did in the post, in the paint, and at a time where was the dead ball era, you was getting what 90 something points a game. That's major work. When you take those statistics and translate it to today's game, and the how fluid the offense is, and no defense and all the stuff that helps offensive players, you don't think Tim Duncan will be going absolutely nuts now? I don't even like to talk about today's game, but it's a lot of the conversation today. People on TV, they influence the talk in the barbershops and the talk where the talk happens of who's better, who's bad, who's good, who's great, all that. It comes from TV. And to land this burr, I saw what Paul Pierce said about the 92 Dream Team. I just checked it out. And Paul Pierce like my favorite player, but I ain't even gonna go in on him too hard because I can kind of see the points that he was making, even though I don't agree with them, because I think Anthony Davis would get worked by David Robinson or who was on the team, Patrick Ewing, Charles Barkley. Like, Anthony Davis is a really good player, but if he's your best player, your team gonna be in the lottery every year. That's what it is. So who else he brought up? Embiid. I don't know why Embiid even played, because he hurt all the time. Like, he should be resting his body, his frail body. So we'll probably see him in a suit, for a couple games next year. He was talking about Baby Jordan and Anthony Edwards. Stop it. Who gonna stop LeBron? LeBron gonna stop LeBron, because he's gonna drive left and you throw up a miss, or dribble it off his leg, or they don't call an offensive foul. So LeBron gonna stop LeBron. Nobody think about LeBron like that. This ain't Serbia. Like, these is all-time great players. But I'm off the topic. Come on, Pierce. Come on, Truth. We're better than that. But just give me the solid foundation, the rock, the core, the centerpiece, the cornerstone that Tim Duncan was in San Antonio for 19 years. I'll take that. Easy. And no disrespect to Kobe, but, some of these people act like Kobe never missed a shot in his life. Well, Kobe wasn't creating situations that fucked up his situation for the Lakers. So he made it difficult for the team to do business and add players to the team, because it gets to a certain point, like, you ain't Kobe from 06, 07, 08 no more. It's 2014 Kobe. No. You ain't gonna be yelling at me, talk crazy to me like that. No. And it's become the same thing with LeBron, where nobody want to play with him except the clutch sports guys. That whole, that's tampering. I'm gonna say what it is. It's collusion, tampering, all sorts of things that should not happen. But Adam Aluminum, he gonna do what he do as one of the terrible commissioners that we have in sports, because the Aluminum suck, Goodell sucks, and I don't even know. Is Bud Selig still the GM or the commissioner of baseball? I don't know who the GM commissioner of baseball is, but Aluminum is terrible. But back to that Kobe Duncan debate. Duncan all the way, but I ain't gonna feel no type of way if you say that you rocking with Kobe. But just my perspective. Tell me what your thoughts are. If you rocking with what I gave you. I drove it to my car. If you rocking with my perspective, like, share, subscribe. Please comment. Love it when people comment. Give me all the smoke if you got smoke for me. I could take it. I'm not weak. Peace.